I hope everybody's doing good on this wonderful Friday. I did try to upload a video for you guys. I put it on the story. It tried to upload for like 3 days, 4 days. They wouldn't upload it. It sat at 30% the whole time. It got to 30% pretty quick, and then they just stopped it from uploading. Twitter's got me shut down. I'm not suspended or banned on there, but nobody is responding to anything. Granted, like I said before, I don't like Twitter, but the things I post on Twitter and to the people I tag in those posts, I should be getting some response, and I'm getting none. So that's crazy, but that is what it is. That's the world we live in right now. Anyway, the whole point I want to make for this video, and I'm not here to talk about Trump. I'm not here to talk about none of that. But to answer your questions, I still stand behind Trump. I don't see that he did anything wrong. You know, that man's done what he could for us for 4 years. You're not going to get me to say anything bad about Trump. So, but I'm not here to talk about him either. What I'm here to talk about is Cori Bush, the black lady that's from Missouri. They got up on the floor to talk about Trump's a white supremacist leader and that all his followers are white supremacist domestic terrorists. Let me rephrase that. When your politicians turn this into race on national TV, they're intentionally trying to incite a race war. Now, this whole time, since I started making these type videos, I've not talked about a race war, I don't think at all. Not even a single time. But, like I said, when your politicians, the ones we listen to, the ones that are here to protect us, supposedly, the ones that are put in office to do what we need them to do as people and citizens of the state that they represent, and they talk about race and they talk about white supremacy, race has nothing to do with anything that happened at the Capitol. Unless you want to look at it this way. They have arrested, FBI, a proven Black Lives Matter activist that started his own group called Insurgency USA or some shit like that. I don't know what exactly, but something like that. But either way, so he was there. They've got one or two at least proven Antifa members. You can say they don't, but they have. You keep digging like I do and you'll find it. If you want to talk about race supremacy, let's talk about Black Lives Matter and what happened all summer long. What happened since George Floyd's death. Ever since George Floyd's death and Black Lives Matter come back out of their hole, it's been white people give us your homes. White people need to give up this. And I'm not even here, I ain't saying nothing bad about black people in general or white people or whatever. What I'm talking is, don't call people like us, Trump supporters, MAGA supporters, whatever, white supremacists, when for months, AOC, Kamala Harris, and whoever else, there's others, that have got on TV and said that the protesters, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, need to push harder, take over ICE facilities, take over police departments. Don't stop. They're not going to stop. They don't need to stop. They need to push harder and fight harder. That is what they were saying as the politicians, as the leaders. They have a lot of influence over what people say and do. Because when you tell these people to do that and you're a government leader, what you're doing is giving them permission and letting them know that there'll be no recourse or repercussion for what you're doing. Trump has denounced the KKK and white supremacy multiple times. He did it off and on the whole time because he got bugged about it. But not a single time have they denounced any of that. So you tell me, who is the supremacist here? What if white people, what if white people did band together and we go protest and we start going through non-white neighborhoods talking about anybody in those neighborhoods needs to give up their homes right now to us? What would that be? That'd be white supremacists, wouldn't it? That would be white supremacists, and I agree there. And I also agree that if that was the case and that's what was happening, they better shut that shit down real quick, because that doesn't need to happen. No race needs to give up anything to the other race. What we really need to do is come together. Blacks, whites, Hispanics, Asian, whatever you are. Because the last thing the government wants is for us to get together. Because what they're trying to do right now by AOC getting up and talk about white supremacy and the people that are MAGA supporters or the people that come to the Capitol all white supremacists, no, they're not. Just like everybody that supported Malcolm X or Martin Luther King were not black supremacists. Yeah, you got some black supremacy groups, and you got some white supremacy groups. But that ain't what happened at the Capitol. And when your vice president of the United States is on tape, on video, for multiple months, saying, push back, push harder, Black Lives Matter needs to take this and take that from, that is promoting race supremacy. Okay? So what is the difference? Why are white people the target, but you don't say nothing about the ones that actually went through towns, cities, burning, looting, breaking people's windows out of their businesses they've worked their whole life for? And yeah, I do harp on this subject a lot because I have a problem with that. I have a problem with you being able to bust out the windows of a business and run in a group of people and steal everything in the store, whether you need the shit or not. Don't nobody need to run in and steal a big screen TV and run out of it. That doesn't justify anything. I have a problem with that, absolutely. And if it's a group of white people, I would call it down too, because it don't matter. It doesn't matter to me. The last thing, what they're really trying to do, like I said, is start a race war. The whole time I've not spoke on that because I didn't really believe that. But as of right now, I feel like your Democratic politicians are trying to start a race war. But what they don't want is for us to come together, all of us, any color, any race, any ethnicity, whatever. And if we stood up to these people and we band together, blacks, whites, Asians, whatever, Hispanics, there would be nothing they could do to us. There would be nothing they could make us do. There would be no division they could cause if you would stop listening to the politicians and start using your head. I don't listen to politicians. I listen to what they say because it's crazy to me the way people think just because someone's got a little bit of power that they're the smartest person in the country, or that's who you should be listening to as far as how to live your life. Kamala Harris and AOC will never do anything but try to cause division in this country. That's what they're doing now. That's what they'll do then. And that's what they're going to do the whole time they're in office. AOC needs to be removed. Kamala Harris does not need to be in any type of powerful office. If black folks can't see the fact that that's what they're doing, then they've got so much mind control over you, and that makes you a weak individual. That makes you weak-minded, and if they can control you, and we all know, no matter how you look at race, everybody knows politicians are crooked. Not every single politician, but about 95% of them are crooked as hell. And they're going to do whatever they can for a vote. They're going to say whatever they can for a vote, or to get you to side with them during times like this. And when they're done with you, they're going to be done with you, and they don't care about you. They're not going to do things for you. They're not going to come to your neighborhoods or your out in the country where you live. They're not going to come to your projects and do anything other than campaign for themselves. When they come to your hood or whatever you want to call it, and they talk about white people this and white people that and black people this, and man, come on. They're playing mind games with you. What we're seeing from these politicians, or what we're seeing on TV that they're saying, and is what they're saying. It's them recorded saying it. If you can't see past that, then you really are the weak-minded individual that they think you are. What happened at the Capitol has nothing to do with race. It had everything to do with corruption. Now, like I said, the guy from Black Lives Matter that started his own thing, he was arrested there. They've had at least 2 Antifa members, and then one I think he's a son of a judge in Michigan or something. But he's a Democrat. Why was he there? There to cause a problem. There to start some shit because he thinks his daddy get him out of jail, and he probably will. He probably won't do any time. All these other people getting locked up, but that guy probably won't. That guy's, his father's a judge. He'll pull some strings and he'll never see jail, or at least not long anyway. I don't know where this is all going to go as far as the race war thing, but If you cannot see that what they are doing is trying to put black people against white people or put everybody else against white people, you're blind. And you need to think for yourself and not let them control your thoughts. And that's exactly what they do. You let these people that we all know are crooked say things, and it gets you riled up in the head, and it messes with your mental state. And then the next thing you know, here you are running your mouth and think people need to bow down and give in to you. And that's not going to happen. And for all you white people out here talking about white supremacy and talking about screaming Black Lives Matter, please shut up. Just shut up. You look really stupid. Even to the black people. Even to them. They even think you're dumb. Because you really have no reason or even a right to be out there. What needs to happen is this divide that the government is causing, intentionally causing, for their own benefit, not for us. They don't care about us. They're doing it for their own benefit. Whether you lose your life over it, whether you prosper over it, they don't care either way. Try not to let these politicians convince you that this is the way the world is, because the world is not like what they say. No, things aren't perfect. Yes, there's shitty people on both sides. There's shitty people that live every day. But the world is not, or let me rephrase that. Our country is not or should not be that way. The politicians are making it that way because y'all are letting them make it that way. When people start thinking for themselves and making their own decisions about these things, and just instead of just listening to what they're telling you and going off of that, you'll be a lot better off. We'll be a lot better off, all of us together. But when this thing with Trump and that Cori Bush lady gets up there and talks about Trump being a white supremacist leader and all his MAGA supporters are white supremacist domestic terrorists, and when they label us domestic terrorists after what we watched all summer with BLM and Antifa, those assholes are domestic terrorists, not us. If you're able to burn down buildings and homes and beat up people, kill people with no repercussion, you don't go to jail over it, they don't even really try to find out who you are, that's a terrorist group. There ain't no other way to look at it. Look at ISIS. And I'm not comparing Black Lives Matter. Well, yeah, okay, we will. Antifa ain't nothing but a wimpy ass version of ISIS. You know, they come through, they tear up stuff, they burn stuff, they set things on fire. Actually, yeah, they set people on fire too, because they set a cop on fire. And nothing happens to them. They're a terror group. And they will continue to be that way because people won't do anything about it. You have people, when we try to stand up to it, next thing you know, we're labeled domestic terrorists. There's got to come a day, guys, where every race looks past what the politicians are telling you and you think for yourself. Because if you don't, you are going to be that sheep that's led to the slaughterhouse. You are going to be the gopher they want, because they're going to tell you to do stuff. They're going to say things, and guess what? You're just going to eat it up, and you're just going to believe it, and you're not going to question it. And that's what they want. And they're going to get you that way. And they have mind control over you. When I hear things on TV, when I watch the news and I hear things or I see something online, I go look, I go dig, and I search it and I research it. And I try to make sure that I know what the facts are before I make my own opinion. And I don't look at one set of facts. I will look at, if I find something on it here, if I find something on it there, and I find something on it here, I'll take all three of those things and like, what makes the most sense? Because you know, there's two sides to everything. Nothing is one-sided. So you have to look at every aspect of every situation. And with politicians, you better look at every one of them and everything that every single one says, and somewhere in the middle of all those things, there's going to be a common ground. And the common ground is not white supremacy. if you're good to me, I'll be good to you. That's the way the world needs to be. Unfortunately, some people get butthurt over things that people say, or get butthurt because things don't go their way, and next thing you know, then you got someone screaming racist at everybody around them. The real racist, the real supremacy group that we need to deal with right now is Black Lives Matter. Antifa needs to be put away. No matter how it has to happen, they need to go. Because until those two are out of the picture, there will be no coming together. And until people like AOC and Kamala Harris are gone, there will be no coming together, because they're doing everything they can to divide us. It's all really sad, actually, that someone that we know is crooked can have that much power over your mind and your thoughts. On another note, hopefully today we'll find out about some Obamagate stuff and see what happened there. I think they've already released and declassified the Russian hoax thing, the collusion, but I've not even stopped to look into it today. So here tonight I will dig into that some and see what's up there. But guys, I'm telling you, if you're one of these people that fall in line because politicians tell you to get your ass in line, then you need to step back and look at what you really want in your life and for your country and for your family and for your people, and decide that they're not going to run your life. They're not going to control you. They're in office because we put them in office, because people voted them in. They can be taken out just as easy. They can be unvoted. Let me rephrase that before I get that's some kind of threat. That's not a threat. Those type of people, as quick as they got there, those type of people can be taken out of there too. They're there because they were voted in by the people. They don't have an electoral college that can be rigged. You're voted by the people. Your locals, that's the state, the district, whatever you represent, and they need to be voted out. They need to be gone. And the only way to do that is for you to start thinking for yourself and quit listening to what they're telling you. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me. I know it's kind of a random video, but I mean, that's the truth. They're saying some real reckless shit right now on TV, and because they know everybody's watching, they know that people will fall in line with it. So just think for yourself. Make your own informed decision about things. Don't let politicians tell you how to think, because that's exactly what you're doing. As long as we let them do that, this country will stay like it is and get worse. And right now, it's pretty bad. To me, it's worse than it was 6 months ago, when we were dealing with and watching Antifa, which is still destroying stuff and still setting up autonomous zones and still taking over city blocks, and still nobody's doing nothing about it. But we're the bad guys because we like Trump. Just like I said before, it's good versus evil, and that's the way it's going to be from here on out. And as long as we let them tell us how to think, you're just going to fall in line with them. And that's not really the way to do things. You should be able to think for yourself. We shouldn't be censored on everything we say. And things I've been putting on Twitter were intentionally to see if I was getting shadow banned or blocked or whatever. And I can guarantee you I am, because I have been laying into the politicians, tagging them, posting on their tweet. I see the tweet on there. So I know that if it wasn't being blocked, somebody'd see it, whether they agreed or not, somebody would be saying something back. Nobody's saying anything. It's because I'm being blocked. That's pretty sad. But anyway, we all know what's happening. Learn to think for yourself. Make your own informed decision. Dig and dig and dig until you can find enough evidence or enough whatever from each side, all sides. Take those things and make your own informed decision. Quit letting people tell you how to think and live. Anyway, I'll holler at you guys later.